So the other day, I'm watching the news and I get this great idea to visit the Westfield South Center Mall. It's the largest shopping center in the Pacific Northwest. It houses one of the last remaining Sears stores in the country, and there was recently a fatal shooting there. It just seemed like a great place to have some good, clean fun. The arcade attached to the mall was really my main reason for going there, honestly. I've heard a lot of good things about Round One, which is a Japan-based chain of amusement centers, but I'd still never been to one, so I decided to make the journey. Here I am in front of the well-maintained Round One bowling pin. Honestly, now that I'm looking back on it, I can't really tell which looks worse, me or the pin. I kind of look like someone who hasn't left the house in 2 years. You enter the arcade and immediately ascend an escalator, which turns out to be a really rad way to enter an arcade. A lot of excited anticipation as the magical moving stairs lifted my lazy ass up what is honestly a manageable distance for me. As far as arcades go, this Round One is pretty top-notch. It's clean, well-lit, it's got awesome carpet, and there are so many games crammed in here, it's pretty impressive. Along with the arcade, there's also a bowling alley, which I didn't get any footage of, and karaoke booths, which I also didn't get any footage of. As for the game offerings, the selection here is a bit different than what I expect to see in a typical American arcade. Now there are some recognizable faces here. Whack and Win, Monster Drop, Spin and Win, Howie or No Howie.
I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm planning on it.
I got a lot of ticket redemption favorites here. What you don't see a lot of, though, are older cabinets. I feel like I always see a Pac-Man Galaga cabinet on an arcade floor, but here the only Galaga I see is a towering, sleek, modern version. To put it plainly, customers hoping to play some nostalgic arcade favorites can get fucked. This is the arcade of the future, baby! The main highlight of which are the futuristic UFO cranes. Now, there are a couple of traditional claw machines here too, but their purpose seems to be just to convince me that UFO cranes are better, because look at this, that's just ridiculous. UFO cranes are a lot like traditional cranes in that you're operating a little claw that drops down, but I guess that's where the similarities end. Instead of trying and failing to pick up a plush and bring it to a drop zone, UFO cranes are set up in a variety of different ways. The most common type I've seen is this one here, where the objective is to slowly slide or rotate an object so that it eventually falls down into the drop zone. This ramen, by the way, was way too spicy for me. I had like 5 bites before I tapped out. It was tasty though, just way too hot. The UFO cranes come in all shapes and sizes. I desperately wanted to win this Sailor Moon machine, not only because it would make a great gift if I won it, but also because the setup was deceptively simple. A bent Q-tip sits in that metal grate there, and it will fall with but a simple poke. Just one simple poke. Come on, man. Just poke the tip already. My failures here really illustrate one of the biggest advantages of visiting the arcades as an adult. Going to the arcade as a child was pretty fun because I still had, childhood whimsy. I was shielded from the harsh realities of the world at the time, and I didn't understand the value of $1 because my brain was the size of a fucking peanut. Now the downside was that my parents, who were well aware of life's harsh realities, were the ones setting the arcade budget. So while I'm unable to view this arcade through the joyful eyes of a child, if I want to blow a couple $100 at the arcade, then that's my prerogative. For I'm an adult, which means that I can spend my money however I want. I can rack up $1 million debt on 100 different credit cards, and then when I die, it's somebody else's problem. this crane was pretty cool. The whole objective is to get a tic-tac-toe with ping-pong balls. It's a lot more random chance than the last one. All you really gotta do is line the claw up with the ball of ping-pongs, and then just hope for the best. I mean, it's only a matter of time before I get a good bounce, right? We arrived with some of the work already done for us, and then once you get the middle space, victory just seems inevitable. Which it was. For a lot of these machines, you do have to flag down an arcade attendant to receive your prize. That's probably the one drawback, but it's really not that big of a deal. And just like that, we've won ourselves a silly green Mario. They get pretty creative with these. This one's a little weird. There's a hook on the back of this platform here. You can't really see it, but you've got to hook that hook with your hook, and then once it's hooked, it will, kind of like hook up, and you'll win the hook. Thought this one was gonna be tough, but wouldn't you know it, on try number 2, I won the pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni is my favorite kind of pizza. Did I want an Among Us plush? No. Do I now own an Among Us plush? Yeah. The thing with these UFO catchers is that sometimes the games look so fun that you want to try them out, even if you have no interest in the prize. But hey, the resale value is like 25 bucks, so, I could argue that I made my money back. Or that I could make my money back if I wanted to go through the trouble of, reselling it and packaging and shipping it. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because now me and the Among Us are best friends. I can't imagine selling the little guy after the memories we developed playing Let's Go Island together.
You've been watching too many movies, lady.
This game is actually pretty badass. It reminds me of The Ocean Hunter, which is one of my all-time arcade favorites, only this one features a moving seat, which really adds to the experience.
We're almost at the golf course.
Well, Austin, don't take anything seriously.
Okay, looks like I'm back at the Sailor Moon machine. I do remember going back to try once again because I just kept getting so close. And when you see it played back in rapid succession like this, it does seem like a waste of money, but at the time, it really felt like a worthwhile investment. All right, let's move on from here already and finally take a look at my latest arcade obsession, Marble Carnival. It's certainly one of the brightest machines in the arcade, and it's a modern twist on the coin pusher, which we already know that I'm a big fan of. I've talked about a couple of card redemption coin pushers in the past, but this is the first time I've played a marble pusher. The idea is pretty much the same, but instead of dropping coins, you're shooting marbles. The balls roll forward off of the dozer, and then they get pushed forward, and you get awarded a ticket for every 2 marbles that get pushed forward off the front. What you're mainly after, though, are these plastic cards resting atop the marbles, with the grandest prize being the card complete bonus of 3,000 tickets. You gotta collect 9 cards to do that, though, so don't get too excited. I think one of the coolest parts of this game is the super bonus wheel. Despite the name Marble Carnival, the game is mostly about wheels. As the marbles fall forward, they have a chance of falling through these little targets, which in turn spins a bonus wheel. This happens a lot. So often, in fact, that you can bank up to like 10 spins at a time. That's what this meter here is. Most of the time you just win bonus marbles, but sometimes you'll get lucky and get a card drop, which is great since they're your prime objective. And occasionally you'll get really lucky and unlock the super bonus wheel, which is a slowly spinning wheel whose stopping position is determined by a marble that you get to release. Man, this is just super exciting to me. I could sit here and spin the super bonus wheel all day. I mean, I practically did. I spent 60-75% of my money at Marble Carnival just sitting there spinning wheels. Now, the greatest moment of all is when you actually hit the super bonus, which automatically dispenses a whopping 500 marbles. It really is an exciting show, and the constant flow of marbles sounds a lot like a slot machine paying out a huge win, which I'm sure subconsciously makes me feel like I'm getting a lot of tickets, even if I'm not. I highly recommend this game. I might like it more than even SpongeBob or The Wizard of Oz. I don't know. It's a tough call. I haven't played those two in a while. I'll have to get back to you. I didn't manage to collect all the cards this time, but I did get close, and I will be back.
Good luck.
So I mentioned in the beginning that this arcade is attached to a huge mall, and it feels like it would be a shame to not show off a little bit of what it's like inside. We'll be back to finish up the arcade in just a little bit. I pretty much just wanted to hit the food court for some food. This mall is super nice. It's really big, it's bright, well lit, has a lot of shoptions. Just overall, really nice mall. I mean, walking around there, you would never think for a second that someone just got shot. You ever seen an Amazon store before? Well, now you have. Too many people in the store for me to comfortably film, but it's really weird. They've even got star ratings on the products. Bizarre. You know, the one slight I'll give them all is that they had these viewing areas where you can see Mount Rainier, which sounds really cool, except they were all closed. You can see Rainier from a lot of other places in the area, so I guess I don't need a special viewing pavilion for it. But all right, let's head back to the arcade now. I really just wandered around and had some lunch. If you're wondering, I had Panda Express, chow mein, orange chicken, and mushroom chicken. It was delicious. We've got just a little more time to kill here at the arcade because I wanted to hang out just a little bit longer to avoid rush hour traffic on the way home. The first thing I tried was this game called Pearl Fishery. I liked Marble Carnival so much I thought I'd try out the other marble pusher in the arcade, and this one just feels slow and dark in comparison. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, I don't think. Just compare it to this, and I mean, it didn't hold my attention for very long. I'm not ever gonna pass up a chance to play Plinko. It's just impossible. This is basically as close as I've ever gotten to playing Lucky Hit in real life before, and it's almost as fun as it is in Shenmue.
Come on down!
I really thought that I would be able to hit the bonus. I kept getting so close, but I had to give up after a little bit because I was starting to run out of credits on my car.
Come on down!
Wait a minute, I went back here? I'm running out of credits on my card and I go back to the Sailor Moon machine that I've failed 100 times at this point? I got problems, dude. I got gambling problems.
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight.
Of course I didn't win it. I failed at Sailor Moon, but the last game that I tried out actually ended up being a huge success. Ticket Man Coin Catcher is another twist on the traditional claw machine. Instead of a claw, though, Ticket Man is a giant, hunky, sexy magnet person who dives into a bunch of metal coins and then lifts them to safety. Another twist is that you don't get to drop them in a safe drop zone. You hover over this spinny zone and then push a button and they just kind of pop off of Ticket Man. It's like he did a little ticket toot. I got a lot of high value coins on this one. It's the only machine that really rivaled Marble Carnival for me in terms of tickets earned. So if you're someone who's actually hitting up an arcade looking to win big tickets for a specific prize, I'd recommend giving Ticket Man a look. Just, you know, stare into his beautiful, big, blue, piercing eyes. And that was my trip to the arcade. Pretty fun, I had a great time. There wasn't anything I really wanted to spend my tickets on, and we were already leaving with a few stuffed prizes and ramen, so I decided to save my 3,621 tickets. Oh yeah, you heard that right. I'm loaded. I'm a big shot. All the kids want to be me, except that I'm 30. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know how you liked this trip to the arcade. I put it together a bit differently than I usually do, and I'm interested to see what people think. But honestly, you might not have even noticed, so thanks for watching.